Hello, I'm Sinon Hwang, and this is the second case study video, and I will be dealing with Margaret's case throughout this video. So, Margaret is suffering from getting intense anxiety, especially when she's out trying to shop. She has symptoms of several physical anxieties, including getting nervous, panic attacks, chest pain, and feeling her heartbeat like really intensely fast, which makes her impossible to shopping. So, my diagnosis of Margaret is social anxiety disorder, and there are several reasons why I think that. Firstly, she feels very embarrassed about having all these anxiety symptoms in public. She's even embarrassed about talking about it to the therapist during CBT session. This meets with the criteria of social anxiety disorder, which states that individuals who have social anxiety disorder fear that he or she will be negatively evaluated by people. Uh, the individuals will think that everyone else is looking at them and feel very humiliated by showing their anxiety symptoms in public. So this could explain why Margaret keeps saying that she was so stupid and she was so embarrassed to show her anxiety symptoms in public. Also, she's been having these symptoms for over a year, which also fits with the criteria of lasting symptoms at least for 6 months or more. The last reason for my diagnosis of social anxiety disorder for Margaret is the escape from the situation. She said that when she feels anxious before going out for shopping, she often just stays home. And if she gets out and feels anxiety during shopping, she tends to she just leaves all of her stuff behind and just gets out of the mall. DSM-5 criteria for social anxiety disorder also states that people tend to avoid any trigger situations. And in her condition, going out for shopping or being in public is the trigger situation of anxiety. So she tends to escape and she tends to avoid those situations by just staying in home or by leaving and getting out of the mall. However, to rule out to rule out other similar diagnoses and to make sure that it is social anxiety disorder, I have further questions to be answered. Uh, the questions are number one is she getting anxiety in every general public places or only in the situation of shopping? This question will help me to rule out the diagnosis of specific phobia. Another question is, does her panic attack occur unexpectedly or expectedly? This question can also help me rule out panic disorder from her diagnosis. Like those two questions can be helpful for me if it is a social anxiety disorder or if it's specific phobia or or panic disorder or else. These kinds of questions can help me figure out if I diagnoses her correctly and gives me more opportunities to correct and rule out some similar diagnoses. The etiology to her disorder could be quite several factors. The first factor is gender factors. Usually, women tend to experience anxiety disorder twice more than men do, and this could be because women more likely to experience childhood sexual abuse and show more biological stress reactivity. Um, Margaret could have underwent some sexual abuse from her relatives or people outside in her childhood. Further information about her childhood experience is needed to be correctly diagnosed. However, her gender, which is female, have probably caused some effect of her anxiety disorder. The fact that Margaret is woman could be one etiology explaining why she's more vulnerable to have anxiety disorder. Another etiology can be two-factor model. She might have paired getting anxiety with going shopping, which is classical conditioning, and the avoidance and leaving the mall, which gives her relaxation, could have negatively reinforced her to keep escaping from the situation. Lastly, I want to talk about some treatments and what the prognosis looks like for her. Uh, so her prognosis looks very positive so far, since she uses very helpful interventions when she's getting anxious symptoms. She had read about a self help guide on the internet and had positive self talk whenever she felt anxious during shopping. Also, she even went back into to finish shopping. So her positive self-evaluation has definitely been very helpful for her to overcome her anxiety. The fact that she actively participates in trying to overcome her anxiety disorder will provide a positive influence on her. Also, Margaret could get even better when appropriate treatments come along with the positive self-interventions. I recommend her to get into the systematic desensitization treatment, which allows her to be imaginarily exposed to the situation that triggers anxieties, starting from very mild situations to gradual intense situation. Thank you.